The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network. Any questions or concerns about what is said should be directed to the show host, whose information will be provided upon request.
You are watching the Marlene Talk Show. We're here for you, becoming you.
Hello. Welcome Friday, 12:30 to 1:30. This is the Marlene Cox Show, WBGR Entertainment Network. While we have you, before we get started, we're going to be on fire today. We got a wonderful guest, and I'm telling you, I got in this beauty field, but he's right in that field where I really grown to this. But guys, make sure you share. If you can start a watch party. This is the Marlene Cox Show, WBGR, and I tell you, my guest today gonna fire y'all up. I'm just trying to tell you, he is going to fire y'all up. But before we get started, we always like to go in with inspiration. If you don't get out there and define yourself, you'll be quickly and inaccurately defined by someone else. So that's so important. And I tell you, after we go through what we're going to go through today with Mr. Woods and talk about, you're going to be fired up. All the salon owners who are watching, clients who are watching, models, dancers, everybody who's watching. So you need to just go and just get fired up now. Insight enables you to know your own heart. Clarity enables you to accept without illusion. Objectively enables you to view any person or situation with compassion. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the Marlene Cox Show, WBGR Entertainment. And you know, last week, our show today is building a beautiful, strong nation through hair. And I tell you, this family, oh my goodness, I read up on them and I did my little research, and I'm just blown away. I'm just really blown away with them. The professionalism. Mr. Woods, you brought it back into our industry. We were losing it, Thank you so much. But last week we began to discuss the celebration of the National Hispanic Heritage Month. During the show, we identified some of the contributions and achievements in the Hispanic community has made not only to the United States, but to the world, and particularly the hair and fashion industry. And one of the things that I really love, especially when I was overseas traveling, the similarities that the Hispanic culture shares with the Afro-American culture. And I think Mr. Woods can really tie that in for us. And we talk about hair today, that he can really tie that in. That's so wonderful that we do that. And the untold stories, the stolen legacies, and the overlooked contributions the world has prospered from at the expense of Hispanic culture, and too many to count. Despite all of that, those obstacles, became brilliant, like truth has a way of bursting through to accomplish its purpose. Today, we will continue our celebration of National Hispanic Heritage Month as we look at the modern day champions that in revolutionary the hair industry. Oh my God, I'm so excited about this. Our guest today, Mr. Micheal Woods, founder, CIO of Ashtae, will discuss how helping others succeed in life in his space has allowed Ashtae to jump the curve in the industry and help build a more inclusive, stronger nation. Undas. And one of the things I like beyond everything else that Mr. Woods is doing, one of my young ladies that was in my class, she works with him, and just to see her career. Well, the one thing that he does that I love, and he talks about behind it, a life beyond the chair, girl. Guys, you don't have to stay behind the chair forever. And Mr. Woods is going to talk to you. So who is Mr. Woods? 30 years in the industry. He's the CIO of Ashtae Products. It's family owned hair care company, hair care system company. He got systems, child. But we used to do back in the day, you know, you got systems, you know what I mean, that you use so that you're doing the best for your client. And guess what? He's based in Greensville, North Carolina. He started Ashtae in 2017. The product's opportunity to work. And guess what? He was on CNN. CNBC. Is that the correct name, Mr. Woods?
That's correct. CNBC.
Right. And he was on CNBC. And I'm telling you, it just blew my mind with Marcus Lemus. And the show is called The Prophet. Yes, CNBC. And that's so refreshing in our industry to, first of all, to have a nice ethnic product out there. I'm not even going to say black because this is an ethnic product out there. And his slogan that I love, global textures. Oh my God, that is amazing how you and your wife and your daughter came up with that name. I thought that was amazing. And let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Woods. He's, I told you, from North Carolina, 30 years, Ashtae. And oh my goodness, I am so happy for you that your product, L'Oreal knocked on the door and got your products in Fine Centrist. That is amazing. Not Sally's, where everybody can walk in the door and buy products without a license. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for keeping it real. Thank you for allowing young people in our industry to have some of the dreams that we have. So this time, I'd like to welcome to the Marlene Cox Show, WBGR Entertainment, Mr. Michael Woods. Hi, Michael. How are you?
What's going on, Marlene? I tell you, you're on fire. Now that you're on fire, I'm catching a fire too. You ain't got to put no gas on me. I'm already hot from you.
I told my husband, I said, oh, this is what I like about Michael. I said, because he's on fire. I said, I saw him skipping across the runway and on the stage doing the hair and bringing it all together. But you know, Michael, the thing that's so enriching to me, and before we go into your line, is also that you do other countries. Your product is not just in America. You got the Caribbean and other countries that you go. And I remember that back in the day, I used to be with Johnson. We tried a little bit over in Africa, but we didn't do too good. So just to hear that you're in that market, and I am so pleased that you're giving licensed cosmetologists, stylists the opportunity to get beyond the chair. I love what you said, get behind the chair. And see, Michael, and I know you know that because you have a real estate empire. We're going to talk about that a little later on because, you know, Michael, let me just say this to you, and I want you to feed in. I remember I started my business at 23. And one thing that I remembered being a cosmetologist, I remember looking at the older people in the show, the older people that were doing hair. And I used to see them get to Social Security age and they no longer could do hair. And they were walking around with them browns. So I said, Lord, I do not want to end up like that. So when I saw that your whole platform of what you do for people, it's encouraging. Because, Michael, I don't think we have too many. So go ahead. Tell us a little bit about Ashtae and how you guys got it going and where you at and what's happening.
Well, I'm so excited, Marlene, because really we are a company that is, I guess, I'm not going to say ordained, but I'll say anointed to empower the lives of cosmetologists. And the reason why I say that we're anointed to do that, because everyone that we came into the business with, they were selling a product. Well, we came from the back end and we began to build the Ashtae brand from 1994 on up to now under the same principle, under the same core belief system, that we believe that professional cosmetologists can create first generational wealth from behind the chair. That's the belief of ours. Ashtae is for that purpose. It's to help them, equip them, empower them, educate them, enlighten them, lift them. Do I need more adjectives? Because I'm telling you, I see what Ashtae is for.
And you know what? And I love it. My young lady, I call her Faye Emanuel. I can't never say her name. So, and I remember when she came to me and said, Miss Marlene, I said, try it, go for it. I said, Oh my God, I didn't even know it was honestly, Michael, I didn't even know there was any more really professional products in this area that we live in. And I'm not saying all, but when I go around and I look and I look at the salons and very unprofessional. They have, I mean, they go to Walmart, they go wherever they want to go to buy products. And just to know that there's a professional line of products. And one of the things that I like about the whole thing that you do is the education piece. The education piece. I think that is so important. And you build, not only are
See, that's
you
key. That's key,
helping them,
Marlene.
yeah,
Correct. The education
yeah,
is the foundation for their success. And Ashtae Products has
yes,
built its brand on educating and empowering stylists because a lot of times, as you said, a lot of stylists get to 55, 65, 70 years old, and they have no fallback plan because they didn't go into the field with the level of education necessary to build first generational wealth and to pass that on to the
mm-hmm,
next generation. So Ashtae Products, our whole goal was to educate the stylists, not from the hair side. We do that as well. We do that very well. But if you don't understand business, you can be the best,
yes.
brokest stylist in the whole wide world.
Yeah. And you know how they used to do it back in the day. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And it really annoys me when I still see that. I know when I had my salons in Delaware, they were full service in Westchester, full service salon where you come in and they don't put no money in your pocket and all that old stuff. I still see people doing that. You're not going to build wealth because you're spending your money every day. I was in the salon with Faye about a month ago, and some of the young ladies that were in there, we were talking, and they were complaining about oil prices. And I said, "So why are you guys complaining about oil prices? You got $1 million business, that comb in your hand. That shouldn't be an issue. You're spending $30, $40 a day on lunch. So what's the problem?
Hello.
And that's, did you say, and but you know what I'm saying, Michael? They spend that kind of money on
Exactly.
things that don't even make sense. And then when they hit that 55, they don't have anything. So that was some of the things that I like. And one of the things you said as I was reviewing your tape was loyal customers. They're part of your family, that your company, your wife and your daughter, you impact them through education, and I love what your wife said, accountability, how to be the first generation of wealth, as you said, and understanding retail. Retail is so important. But if you don't have a professional product, you can't retail and understand
No.
that product. So take us in on some things that you guys, and also before you get there, tell me about Miss Rona when she said, okay, the other companies wanted to hire you. You decided you didn't want to do it. I remember you were hot in the business. It was you and another guy in DC. Y'all were hot up there in that industry on them trade shows. And she said, go ahead and do it. And what was the word she said? If you can do it, what did she say?
Well,
Miss Mona, what did she
she
say?
uh, she, she, she actually challenged me because I was in the industry for 7 to 8 years at that particular time, and we left the industry and moved my family south. And I took a year off, as I was explaining to your husband. I took a year off purposely. When you take a year off, some would do it unpurposely because they laid off. But I took a year off to try to, just kind of decide what I wanted to do. And I paid my cable a whole year in advance. You got to do that when you decide to take a year off. Don't let the cable get turned off.
Yes, you do.
And
Yeah.
I paid my
But you
mortgage a
couldn't,
whole year in advance as well. So I
but you couldn't have
prepared to
done
be
that if
off.
you had planned. Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely,
And you
absolutely.
couldn't do
So
that if you hadn't planned. Yeah, go
absolutely,
ahead. Go ahead.
absolutely. So my wife got to the point where after I'd taken a certain amount of time off, and I went to this trade show back at the Browner Brothers show, and I was getting quite a few offers from a variety of companies. I'm talking about six-figure offers because I was already making six figures anyway, so I wouldn't have come down in salary. But I said, no, I want to take some time and I want to decide what I want to do. And then I said, well, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna take any of these offers. And when a wife gets to the point where she's just kind of, almost fed up,
Yeah.
she said, if you so bad, you should start your own blankety blank 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 company. And I said, that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
and
And
history
Ashtae
has
was
been
started.
made.
Absolutely,
And I,
absolutely.
and
So
I
my
love
wife
it.
and I, we were married. Go ahead.
You've been married how long?
Well, we've been married for 30, almost 31 years, and we've been working together for that entire period. So imagine working together, being married, raising a family, growing, and your clients are all part of that family. That alone is a challenge in itself. But we have been really blessed to be able to stay together, pray together, lay together, say hey together. For 31 years. So I'm super excited to have a great wife.
Yeah, I know that's right. I got you a few years, 35 years. I got 35. I got you a couple more years.
I'm gonna catch you and Mr. Cox. I'm gonna catch y'all. We're gonna catch y'all. We're gonna catch up with y'all. Don't y'all worry.
But you know, that was so I'm going to get ready to go out on a commercial, but just hold on. Don't go nowhere, to stay right there. But we're going to go out on a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and I want to talk about the development of your products. Where did that knowledge come from? Why did you guys get there? And where did the name come from? And how, because of that, you have helped other people make thousands and thousands, I'd say hundreds of thousands of dollars if they follow your education and your plan. So anyway, we're going to go out on a commercial. Hold up. This is the Marlene Cox Show. This is WBGR Entertainment. You better tell your friends to follow us. If y'all want to be an entrepreneur and you're sitting there feeling bad, you better listen so you can do some things. You got to do some things. You got them scissors in your hand. You got that comb in your hand. You know how to work that relaxer. Do you have a good product? Take us out, Alex, on our first commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You are watching The Marlene Cox Show.
When you look at what hair does, hair brings people together.
Hair is an expression of ourselves. Hair is an expression of our roots. It's an expression of our future. It's an expression of our artistic capabilities. Hair is everything.
Ashtae is a combination of my two daughters' name, Ashley and Taylor.
We actually started Ashtae products on a dare, believe it or not.
My wife dared me to go out on my own because I had turned down quite a few offers from other companies.
I said, so what are you going to do if you so bad, why don't you start your own blankety company? And he said,
that's exactly what I'm going to do.
Just like that. We saw there was a need for a product that took care of this new combination, coined global texture.
You have an African-American father, Hispanic mother, so therefore our daughter's hair represented global texture.
Here they are in the early 90s with two mixed children who have this hair texture that's like, ¿qué es esto? What is this? And they needed to find a solution for that.
We created global textures, therefore, who knew best how to deal with it? Ashtae has a unique blend of amino acids and moisturizers that help to deal with the global texture market.
We impact our customers' lives through education, through them selling retail. Now they're able to have a profitable business, take care of their families, build and create first generational wealth.
The education of the stylist to think, to be accountable, to save money, we put that first, then we sell the product.
Most people just look at the stylists differently than we do. We look at them as entrepreneurs and as business people who want their kids to have the best education and travel the world and the finer things of life.
We have thousands of cosmetologists that have saved hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they credit us for it. And in turn, they are extremely loyal to the brand. We truly look at every single one of our clients as they're part of our family.
We don't just sell a product, we build relationship. It is our goal to know our customers name by name, person by person, and impact their lives moment by moment.
And we're back.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's the story. And you know, Michael, the thing that I loved about all of that, and it goes, all of it is biblical. You got to build relationships. You got to build relationships. If you want a loyal customer, a client, it's through building relationships, making them feel like they matter, giving them the opportunity to come behind cheer. taking them to other places. I've been following you through Faye, and taking them to different places for weekends and educating them and building this relationship and sharing with them the money, a value of money, a value of wealth. Because you can, I remember we did a segment once. There's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Would you agree?
Yes, I agree 100%. And I think that Ayanfe Emmanuel is just one of the examples, and she's just really a wonderful young lady that has eaten the message of believing that she is supposed to be successful from behind the chair. And as Ashtae Products has grown, we've been doing the same thing. And that's the sad part from people. When people look at it, they say, "So you haven't changed." No, we haven't changed, because if it works, it works. So some people look at what we've done and say, "Well, you're doing the same thing over again." What we're doing is repeating success so that we can repeat success in the lives of our clients. And Ashtae Products has been able to do that because we're focused on three key elements, Ms. Marlene: family, faith, and finances. That's been the core of who we are as a company, because if your family's off balance and your finances off balance, it's an indication that your faith is off balance. But when your faith is balanced with your family and your finances, you begin to function the way that you were created. And that is created to multiply, to increase, to subdue, to rule. So Ashtae Products, we're following the biblical principles of helping people to develop the way that they were designed to develop. Success inside of them, waiting to come out. The problem is most companies aren't really concerned about the person more than they are the purse. Well, we take it back. We say we're concerned about the person, and the purse will come. And that's why we've been able to travel the world with cosmetologists. And this year we'll be in south of France. But in 2023, we'll be in south of France. We just got back from South Africa. We were in Paris. We were in Venice, Italy. We were in Brazil. We were in the Caribbean. We were in Hawaii. We've been traveling with cosmetologists for the past 30 years. Now, as a professional, you can't travel broke, especially the places that we stay. No. We stay in the finest hotels that money can buy. Why? We believe that they're queens and kings. We act on that, and we see it come into manifestation when we begin to tell them about what Ashtae Products can do for them. So we've always been concerned about educating and empowering cosmetologists on balancing their family, their faith, and their finances.
So that's the 3 F's. And that is so important. You don't know how my heart for Faye, and there's others, because she was a special person. When I moved up in this area, I said, well, let me go teach in a school. And trying to enlighten these young people was something, because a lot of the instructors in the school, their whole mindset was not to put nothing bad about hair cuttery. That's it. I said, no. They can make more money. And Faye caught the vision, and she wanted to build. And she was like a little magnet. Every time I turned around, she was just up under me. And when she told me about y'all, I said, go for it. That is the way. I say, Faye, if it had not been for the company that I worked for back in the late 70s and early 80s, I would not be the person I am today. I would not have all of these different things going on. So to see that growth, and when you go to south of France, I'll be going with you. My daughter just got back from Paris. That's one of my favorite places. So just make sure I know what it is, and I'm going. I'll be there with y'all. I'll be there with you guys. I love it over there. I love it over there.
Close to so those are about 150 stylists going with us so far. So it's going to be a very big trip. And we usually roll with about 125 to 150 stylists from around the world who travel with us. And those who don't know the brand, we encourage you to go to ashtae.com and actually look at the brand. Because once you see who we are as a company and you see the quality of the product, see, a company can fake it for a few years. Some people go with a hot new this or a hot new that, where they're hot and then they're cold. We've been hot for 30 years because the products work. So people don't just jump on the products off. Work. They use the product.
The products work because professionally, I think it was your wife who said it in one of the tapes. There was a the coconut phase, the avocado phase, and everybody adding it to it. But if you're educated, now the basic stuff that they learn in beauty school, you have a strand of hair, you have a cuticle, and you want to penetrate the cuticle. If the product don't go through the cuticle, it's just laying out there. And putting all of these other things in a product doesn't necessarily make it good. And that's where your education comes in, because people don't. Do you see sitting someone in a chair in the salon? And I'm using, I watch Faye, I'm using this and I'm going to be doing this and do that. She be talking to her and I'm like, talking to your clients. You don't have to be in there talking about all that other stuff. Talking to them as to a client as your guest and educating them on why you're doing what you're doing with their hair. And then the end of that is give them the retail to take with them so they can maintain their hair. One of the things I've noticed, Miss Micheal, is back in the day when I was really going with people, I don't know if it happens now, I got to ask Faye. They come in every 2 weeks. Most of the time people come in every once a month, right? Every 2 months. Is that what they do now?
It is for those who don't believe in healthy hair. Those who just want to walk around with their hair dirty for a while, they don't come in that often.
Yeah.
But most of the clients that we serve, and most of the clients that we serve with Ashtae, those clients are making it a weekly regimen or a bi-weekly regimen to come into the salon, because that's important. Health is so important. And a clean head is an indication of a clean body. If your hair ain't clean, then there's something that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So we believe very strongly in having those clients come in the salon every 2 weeks. So we encourage stylists to get their customers to come in minimum every 2 weeks. They're not once a month. You don't take a bath once a month. Every 2 weeks maximum.
Ooh.
Maximum.
And that's what we used to do, and take care of that. And then if they're going on a vacation, you have the education of the products, the retail, what they need while they're on, and how to use it, how to use the retail products when away or vacation. And that's something that I noticed, because we do a lot of weaves and we do a lot of braids, but you still got to take care of your hair. I remember sharing with a young lady. She said, I got the braids. And I said, no, baby, you should be shampooing your hair at least every 2 weeks and conditioning it. People think they put that stuff in their hair and it's that way until they take it out again, because the lines that they're going to aren't educating them. They're not educating them. I tell you something I like now. You do a lot of natural hair. I've watched Faye. She's had clients come into her whose hair was just matted. And I don't remember the product, but she uses this product, and oh my God, she just gets it. I said, oh, good, baby. That is so good, because I said, these products really work. And then she talks them through it and shares with them what to do, come back. And if you can't, these are some of the things that you need to have. And that's what we know. Let me ask you this: in your training, in your education, do you teach the stylists to do have a consultation with their clients the first time they come into the salon?
We have always taught the importance of a consultation when coming into the salon, because you have to think about it. Never would you go to the doctor's office and not have a consultation about what you're actually coming in with. So we believe that cosmetologists should follow that same pattern. And another thing, Marlene, that you'll find out is with the Ashtae brand is that for that natural client, we're the leaders in global texture. So when it comes to global textured hair, we are the leaders in that, because we were the creators of that to a large extent. We brought the Hispanic and the African-American hair textures together to create a healthier head. And one of the things that you will find is that if you're not given a consultation, you miss out on your retail opportunity, because the retailing really happens in the consultation, because you're able to identify
what happens in the consultation,
what they're not doing and we need.
Well, Mr. Michael, I forget. My husband's a Mike. I've gotten some people who have put some things in the chat. I don't know if you remember Dr. Elaine Simon, but she used to work with me on the stage. She remembers you. Okay. She said, exciting show. Loving it. That's Elaine. Faye is saying loving it. And then this is my daughter-in-law, Ashley. She says, what to use on dry hair? This is another, my granddaughter is biracial. Ashley, remember when I said you need to go visit Faye? Faye knows what to do. Her product line, Global Texture. I love that name. And up in this area where we're living, It's so many children, not just young kids. You got adults, 40 and 50, that are biracial. And sometimes I walk in the store, I just want to grab their head and say, come go with me. No one is teaching them how to take care of that hair. And if their mom is a Caucasian, and like and my son is Afro-American, they're not really familiar with that hair. So Miss Baby Ashley, I told you to contact Miss Faye. So that's how she's going to do it for you. So those are the things.
The product, Marlene, that everybody who is biracial absolutely loves is an item called Moisture Plus. They can write that down.
Okay.
Go to the Ashtae website, ASHTAE.com, or if they're writing their stylist, ask their stylist about it, but it's called Moisture Plus. They can learn about it on our website, and that is the item that helps prevent dryness, that dry hair. That is the go-to item that everyone in Global Textures, everyone who's dealing with multicultural, biracial, half this, half that, quarter this, quarter that, no matter what you call them, our Moisture Plus is the #1 retailing item for clients with dry hair. And if they have natural hair and they're trying to cleanse that hair thoroughly, I recommend the clarifying shampoo. It is for swimmers. It's for people who do weaves. It's people who do bonding glue. It's people who do naturals, braids. It cleanses that hair thoroughly. So those are 2 go-to items that you can easily just go and you can start using, and you're going to get great results just from the beginning. So I highly encourage the Moisture Plus and the clarifying shampoo as their go-to items.
Okay, that's good to know, because we need you guys to come up here in Western Maryland and Pennsylvania and you can do a class. It is very well needed, because we really, this name, Global Texture, I just love it. I mean, and I can see the combining of your hair and your wife's hair and making that texture and coming up with that name. Global Texture. That's an amazing name. But they just told me I got to go out on a commercial break. Stay there, Global Texture. Some more about the products. I'm going to talk about the books that you have written, and then we'll go back. This is the Marlene Cox Show, WBGR Entertainment. Share. People are writing in. They're loving the show. So we'll talk to you. Alex, take us out on our next commercial break, and we'll be right back.
You are watching the Marlene Cox Show. And we're back.
So we are back back into the show. People are asking a lot about different. They're flooding me with questions. When is the next time? I have a couple of cosmetologists want to know, when is your next event? When is your next event?
Great. Our next event is coming up November the 12th, I think it is. We have what we call a texture takeover. If they go to the Ashtae website, ASHTAE.com, go to the Ashtae website and they'll see what we call our texture takeover. That's coming up the second week in November. And then we have our biggest event of the year, or at the kickoff year, is our January business class. That's held this year in Charlotte. Every year, Marlene, we do a business class for entrepreneurs, cosmetologists, and business people, and they come in from around the country, because we believe if you don't kick off your year strong, then you'll start out your year weak. So we want to get everybody on the right financial mindset. Now, this year we're doing something different. It's held at a beautiful university there in Charlotte. But the thing that we're doing different this year is that we're inviting families. And the reason why is we believe, again, in 3 core principles: family, faith, and finances. And so often your family don't know how to help your business to grow. And we've invited families in this year because we have a segment for kids, how to have their best educational year. We have a segment for the husband and the wife, or just the single mom or the single dad, because entrepreneurship is so important. We want to get everybody focused in on the money. People are already saying that there's a recession looming. Well, we're making a declaration in 2022 that we're not going to participate in the recession in 2023. We're going to opt out. We're going to opt out of that one. We're going to show you how to opt out too. So January 9th.
Look, I'm with you on that. Yeah. I'm with you on that. I don't even let people pull me into that nonsense. I don't let them pull me into that nonsense. That's just because you're not playing and you're spending every penny you make instead of putting it in the right places and investing it and doing some other things that you need to do with your money. I tell you, there's no way I can do everything with you. Oh, we got a good time about the educational summit. That's going to be down in Charlotte. So I will probably come to that too, because I have a lot of relatives in Charlotte. Actually, my virtual assistant who does all of my administrative work, the Regina, you heard from the one that says Regina, she lives in Charlotte.
Yes.
She lives in Charlotte. Oh, wait a minute. We got a phone call. Hold on, Mr. Woods. Hello.
Oh, hey, Miss Marlene.
Hey, Miss Faye. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm talking to someone that you know.
Yes, I'm loving you guys' show. Hey, Mr. Woods.
What's up, my young Faye?
She said hi.
Hey, how's it going? I'm loving the education. I'm loving you guys' topic. Yes, we're on this big speaker here at the shop so everybody can hear.
Wonderful.
We're all tuning in.
Wonderful. 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 That's my girl. I call her my little mini Marlene. That's my girl. And that's I said I got 3 daughters. She won up. That's my little mini Marlene. But I thank you, Faye, for calling in.
Yep.
And thank you.
Guys. Love you guys.
Love you too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Yeah. See, I've been knowing Faye for about at least 15 years. I said I can't get that one. When I was working in that school, everybody had a different name. The names were crazy. I said, does nobody believe in naming people Judy and Shirley anymore? I couldn't remember all them names. I said, I can't do it. She said, Miss Marlene, just call me Faye. So those are the stories. See, people don't understand. And I know and a lot of my team is watching also. And I express that it's the team, because it's not all, and money is good, but you don't make people feel like they part of something in their relationship. Once you do that, I agree with you. The money comes. The money comes. You educate them. You show them. You go out there and you show them the way to build wealth. To build wealth. And I think all of the rest comes. I have people who work in my organization, and I always tell them, you don't have to stay with me. When you leave, that's a plus for me, because I can say, God, she's doing it. That's a wonderful thing. You don't know how that makes me feel. Through the years, we've had some. Now, what I did, Mr. Woods, I don't do the hair much anymore. I was doing lectures for a while, and I stopped that. I focus really on this show, and I have a modeling talent agency and consulting firm. I do, like you, I do a lot of consultings for entrepreneurs. And so if you're ever in town and you need real models for hair, just let us know. We anywhere in the DMV. If you want to teach them how to make sure they're walking it right, because there's a way to walk it right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't just strutting. I see some of them, baby, that's not how you do it.
No,
I'm going to show you how to do it. Yeah. So I decided to take this avenue and in the industry. But see, you said something that's very key, and we're going to get on that. Coming from behind the chair, and then your wife and you have a real estate empire. And guess I'm in real estate too. We got a lot of similar patterns, but just being in the real estate, what was that? Why, from making your product, which we need to get back to, making your product and going into the industry? And let me put a period right there. Let's start with the product. Where did you manufacture it? Who helped you? What scientists? What went into all of that?
Well, Ashtae started it all. And, as we got into real estate, Ashtae has been really the catalyst for us to be able to go beyond the chair or beyond the normal industry. Our chemist, Bob Smith, who was passed, but this gentleman, he was one of the, I'm talking about the leading chemists in the country.
Yes.
When it came to providing the knowledge about how a product works and why it should work, and laying down the best possible ingredients for it to work. So we started out the company in 1994, and we met Bob, and Bob was just a really, really good friend of ours, but an excellent chemist. And as we have grown the line over the past 30 years, close to 30 years, we stuck to the same fundamental ingredients that Bob showed us back 25, 30 years ago. So that's made our brand really consistent, and it's made us stick out. As we grew the brand, my wife and I, we began to make a transition from, we had a very good brand. We were noticed by The Prophet with Marcus Lemonis on CNBC. Then we continued to grow the brand. And then in 2020, we turned our organization over to my oldest daughter. I have two daughters, one Ashley and one Taylor, which the brand is named behind. But we turned over to my oldest daughter, Taylor, and she took the brand and continued to just really grow the brand exponentially. And then L'Oreal came down, and they were looking at us for quite a while. And then L'Oreal took the brand and said, well, hey, I want you all to be in all 800 of our stores all around the country. We said, great, let's do this. So Taylor, through the education that she's had, and we spent a lot of money on education for our kids. One graduated from Emory, the other graduated from Chapel Hill. So we knew that she was equipped to take the brand to the next level. So that gave us, the opportunity to start making the transition into what I've always loved to do, and that is real estate and development. So we've gotten into that vein, and my wife and I, we work together on that as well. We do a lot of remodeling old homes and taking on projects, but we've kind of put ourselves in the niche market of Airbnbs, but not the normal Airbnbs. We have gone and done what we call high-end Airbnbs. Our Airbnbs sleep between 25 and 30 people. So we're more in that executive level Airbnbs. And that's allowed us to be able to really fit into a certain market. So we have several locations. They range in square footage from 7,000 square feet up to 10,000 square feet. So that's been a really big blessing for us. So next time you're in Charlotte, you can look on our website, and you can see the actual one. Is called Luxury in the City. That's in Greensboro. Luxury in the City in Greensboro. And then there's one Mansion on Main, VA. Mansion on Main, VA.
Yeah, I have that written down.
Yes. And then the other one we have is called Luxury by the Lake. Luxury by the Lake is in Greensboro. Luxury in the City is in Charlotte. And they can go to charlottevacationrental.com, and they can see the level of excellence that our Airbnbs offer. And that's been one portion of our real estate. So if someone's traveling somewhere and they want to rent a high-end Airbnb, definitely to look us up on that in that arena. And then we have salon suites. We have 5 salon suites around the country, from Petersburg, Virginia, Greensboro, Rock Hill, South Carolina. We have a partnership in Danville, Virginia, and also in Augusta, Georgia. We have a great relationship there as well. So we have salon suites that we rent to stylists. So that's been the real estate portion, but it all happened from behind the chair. It happened by first building a brand that cosmetologists can use to actually retail and be able to use on their clients without having their clients go to the beauty supply store or retail stores to get. And then that parlayed into us doing all the other things that we do, including motivational speaking and speaking at conferences and workshops around the country.
Yeah, and see now what you're talking about. And I try to express that you're out of mom and pop. You're building corporations. You're building extensional wealth. And what you did that is so important, and I loved it. You brought your daughter, and she runs that part of the company, and you can build other things. And so many times, Mr. Wood, you know this, so many times in our community, I can't speak for others, people build and build and build and build. The mom or the dad build and build, and something happens to them and everything's gone. There's no follow-up.
Yeah.
There was never no putting anyone in place to continue to take that name, that heritage, and let it go endlessly. It was never. And I love that you've done that with your daughter, young woman, to do that. And I hope older people who are in this industry can understand that we shouldn't be I know I say to my husband, sometimes I'll be wanting to get up early. I say, oh, wait a minute, I don't have to get up early no more. I don't do that no more. I don't start my day. This is when I'm starting my day. I got a team. They doing that. I'm not doing that. So all of us want to get to that place that we do that. And then if you have family members, whether it's your daughter or niece or whoever, you have groomed and you know that you can take over that spot. That is, you're building. Go ahead.
That's the one thing that we teach, Marlene, is that my wife and I, we offer several classes to be able to help people to get there. And my wife does a class called 4Ms, right? And the 4Ms class is really geared towards women because it's about money, motherhood, me, and you think about this. You got to think about how you as a person actually develops to be able to handle, because stylists behind the chair are primarily women. So we have her classes devoted to showing them those 4Ms. And then she has another class, which is where we call You Are Enough Retreat. That You Are Enough Retreat, a young Faye, she attended that course, and women from around the country, because what a lot of times people feel when they're working from behind the chair or just in business alone is that they don't feel that they're adequate enough to actually gain the level of success that they really desire. So by taking that course, you're able to actually say, listen, you are enough. You do a lot. You wear more hats than most men wear. So you got to be able to have the ability to be able to manage that and still feel good about it. And then the class that we teach also is called REI. And that's a real estate intensive class because there's two parts to it. The first one is the boot camp portion. The boot camp helps them identify what areas they need to correct: credit, cash flow, credibility, those things. But the REI is our real estate class, which talks about sleeping money. And you'll hear that a lot because sleeping money allows you to make a choice whether or not you want to go to work or not. And the more sleeping money you have, the more you can rest. So we teach people about sleeping money and having the ability to have the money make money while you're sleeping. Most people got to get up and work for the money every day. Well, if you're working for the money every day, I'm not saying you're a slave, but I'm just saying there's some tendencies that you have that may be slave-minded. So what we have to do is to show people how to think differently, how to begin to think wealth mindset. And actually be able to do it. So that's why we've been so successful in the cosmetology industry, because we've been able to teach stylists from behind there how to create first generational wealth that they will be able to pass on to the next generation. That's what's important. So we're teaching sleeping money. We ain't teaching working money. We're talking about some sleeping money.
I like that. You remember that gentleman years ago? I won't say his name. It says, "Think and Grow Rich." He didn't say yourself to death for rich. You remember that book years ago? Think and Grow Rich. Remember that book? Yes,
absolutely,
Napoleon Hill. You know, we read all the, tell us about your books. Tell me, you have 3 books out. What are those books about? The real estate is awesome. My husband and I might need to talk to you. We got a house down there in North Carolina. We're trying to rehab right now. And so we might need to talk to you.
You better get with it. The reason why I get so excited about that, Marlene, and not only just the books that we have, is that we teach these classes live and face to face. Because what we believe is that there's a learning curve when you can get into the mindset and in the environment of those who are trying to do what you're doing. And we have one book called Get the L Out. Get the L Out is taking the L out of the WORLD. When you take the L out, you have WORD. So we believe living on the word system and not the world system. The other one is survival to success. We talk about, because sometimes you can stay in the survival mode so long that you don't ever achieve success. So people have to gravitate from a level of survival, which we all have to go through, to a level of success that we want to stay in. And then the last book is called The Wealthy Place, Living in the Wealthy Place. That alone is a mind-blowing thought that most of us never even conceive, that we can live in the wealthy place, that we can dwell in it. But it says in the Bible, I can do exceedingly abundance above all that you can ask and you can imagine. So I'm excited that people can really understand that by learning how to do it. Because most of the time, unless you're in the Jewish community, they teach that, right? In our community, we teach really good spending. They teach that. Yeah. In our community, we teach you how to spend. Not to begin to build wealth.
So
we want to change that.
Instant gratification. Don't want to wait for but I see why you and my husband connected, because he's all about the word. I mean, that's the head, as he follows Christ, and then I follow him. It's all about the word. You got to have the word. You can't live without it. You cannot live without that. And I like that. That's the foundation. That's the cornerstone of everything that you do. When you have that cornerstone, and you know this, I'm not telling you if you don't know, you know how to build relationships. You know how to get into the whole person. And to work with the whole person. You're not just trying to push a product over on them. You're trying to educate them, show them the way, how to make them, and learn it. And I don't know if you do this, but one of my big things, delayed gratification don't mean that you won't have it. Sometimes you just got to wait till you get at that space, and
that's it.
You just have to wait until you get at that space. And we have been taught to do that. But we got to, do you remember Barbara Edmonds? Do you remember Barbara Edmonds?
Yes.
She used to tell us, stop that stinking thinking.
That's it.
That was her. Stop that stinking
And that's really what holds us back, is the stinking thinking. That's what holds us back. Is if we can get around people who are movers and shakers, and they are moving to receiving all the blessings that God has for them, we catch a fire, as my grandma would say. We catch a fire. That's what you say when you're from Winterville and Dayton, North Carolina. You catch a fire. When you catch a fire, that you can get there. It's over. It's over.
I know you and my husband. You and my husband going to build a wonderful relationship, because I'm telling you, I can see why y'all connected, even though y'all ended up knowing, but it's all about the word and living that and putting that a total person. And I always tell people, I said, every part of this body that God has given us has a purpose. Your eyes have a purpose, your nose have a purpose, your lips have a purpose, and it all comes together to make things happen. You need all of the pieces, same as an entrepreneur, same as a hairstylist. You need to learn the pieces to put it together so you can be successful. And I just love what you guys are doing. I don't know I think I've got to get ready. Oh yeah, I got to do tips and tools. Mr. Woods, we got to have you back. We got to have you back. I'm going to come down, and when I come down, why don't I do this? I'm going to change something. Would you like to do for our order? We're going to go back out and talk to them about some tips and toodles. We have a segment called Tips and Toodles. Think of about 5 things you would like to share with our audience as it comes to entrepreneur and products. Felix, take us out and bring us back to Tips and Toodles. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. And Mr. Woods is going to share with us a few tips and toodles for the day. Go ahead.
All right. Number 1 tip that they can toodle, right? The number 1 objective for you this week is change your mind. Make a decision to change your mind. Because if you never change your mind, you never change your life. Tip number 2, change your environment. Now, when I say change your environment, you got to get in a place where the things you desire are just all around you. That's why we stay in the finest hotels and money buy, because that's what we do. We change our environment, right? The third thing is change or expand your relationships. All right. If all your friends broke, you need to cut that club out. That club needs to cease today. Don't pay no more dues to the broke club.
That's right. Oh my God, I love it. You guys, I'll take this is Mr. Woods. You have been a delight. And I'm so happy to know, and I'm being honest with you and Faye will I'm like, Faye, is there any professional products out there anymore? Because, and I notice in different of our communities, they're not doing that. And I go in other salons, they do the consultation, the place is clean, they communicate with us well, and things of that nature. We got to bring that into our businesses. And I'm sorry, guys, you can't be going to Walmart and CVS buying hair products and doing that. And I what I got to pick beef with? Because, back in the day when I did hair, if a person wanted to weave or braids, I would buy the hair. Now they go into places and buy the hair and come in with this mess. I have a problem with that. But anyway, you got to work on how we're going to change that. Work on how we're going to change that.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so Mr. Woods, it has just been a pleasure to talk with you. I remember seeing you on that floor down there doing them shows with that energy. It was amazing. And we both were very young back then. I used to stand back in the corner and watch all y'all because I was so intimidated. I was a little girl from the country, and they hired me to come up here and do platform work. So I love it. You guys, you need to tune in. You need to go to Ashtae Products. Could you give us your website one more time before we close it down?
That's right. Ashtae.com. ASHTAE.com. Go to Ashtae.com. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok. But follow us. No matter what you do, just follow us.
Just follow us. Thank you. It has been a pleasure. Boy, that little hour goes by so fast. But anyway, we're getting ready to wrap it up today. Don't go nowhere, Mr. Woods. Stay right there. Each day is a blank canvas, and you are the artist. With every stroke of the brush, your thoughts and your action, you have the opportunity to make this day your best work. So make this day your greatest masterpiece. And I say make this week. You wrote those tips down that Mr. Woods did. Change your mind so that you can change something and make this whole week a good week for you. And this is the Marlene Cox Show. We get ready to cut it out of here. And thank you so much for sharing that knowledge with us. I am so fascinating. And we'll be talking to Mrs. Wood soon. We'll be talking to Mrs. Wood soon. I got a niece down in Greensboro. I got them all over Charlotte. They everywhere down there in North Carolina. So we will definitely hook up at some point in time. Definitely want to come to some of the business. And I am going to South of France. I love it there. And I love being around young people. They keep me going. They keep me going. Right. Okay, Alex, thank you over there. Phyllis, I'm sorry, for doing a wonderful show. That's our engineer. He's over in the DC area. He made this all happen where I can sit at home today. Thank you, young man. I appreciate you so much for making this show happen with me at a distance. Take us out, and we'll see you next week on WBGR Entertainment, 12:30 to 1:30. God bless you. Stay safe. Talk to you next week.
Take care.